towards Shelton. TSM, one of the earliest teams that actually were there, but once again, a little bit too early for them. So I want to see them slow it down a little bit in the future, and when it comes to trying to go center without any like compound to actually hold.
It's a shame that one of our highlights is G9 getting knocked for RRQ Athena, because by the time the lobby was down to maybe like 20 players or something like that, he was still top of damage with 830 damage. It was insane.
He was able to, I think 860 he actually ended up on. It was pretty damn impressive with 3 kills. So he doubled, nearly tripled the damage compared to the kills. So that was pretty impressive to see.
As we can see, some long shots here. We saw a lot of these actually happening. A lot of the long shots with only 3x, the red dot and so on. It was quite surprising, and those sprays were just on point.
Avenger.
More shots coming out. I think the play here from Parang was also the first of all the nade, but also the play where they were sweeping around. We didn't see that here, but they were sweeping around the edge a little bit and managing to finish off some of the teams here. That was super good to see here. Jill made a valiant effort here to make sure that he could get in this, and this is where we saw T1 actually get a few more of the kills. So T1 starting a bit more, getting a bit like a better placement was good to see, but they didn't manage to get that many kills, unfortunately.
Look at Drax here with the sprays, getting that knock, but also finishing off Team IMD straight away here after that vehicle explosion.
Did you see Fredo? The flowing mane, the glorious smile. It's all Fredo, baby. I love it. I love to see yoodogank doing very well here for this game. What a lad. What a top lad. Top lad.
Great to see MCT actually doing this well in the first game, because we saw them during the weekdays here. They didn't have a single bad game. With a bad game, what I mean with that is 3 points or less in a full game.
Avenger mentioned it whilst this fight was going on here. This could have gone wrong for yoodogank. It did feel like they were giving him rocks a few 1v1s compared to a 3v1, which they should have been trying to push on.
Greedy.
Mountain Dew do the do moments here as we take a look at Vikendi, and as much as our first 3 circles, the size shrink isn't that big. Literally every circle in this game was a hard shift.
Yeah, I mean, literally. But this is the only fight we saw between T1 and Synergy. And as you can see, T1, they don't really have the best of gear, the best of weapons, but they make the best out of it and making sure that they get a 4-0 against Synergy. That's huge. That's huge. And from that, they just continued and they got himself, I think it was 3 more kills before towards the end game there.
Awesome.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, from this position as well, I mean, I'm going to break something down as well. I noticed from Ontrug a great play from them. And I'm gonna break down that a little bit. But overall, though, the shifts here. So what I really like from the T1 we were talking about before is that they took the liberty in the first 2 shifts that they don't hard shift too much. They're a pretty big shift. You don't have to move too much usually. They took the opportunity and the liberty to say, you know what, guys, let's start fragging out. Let's start getting some kills here. So I really like that, and I kind of want to see that a little bit more in Vikendi. I want to see some of those early, you know, phase 1 and 2 fights, because that's where you really have the time to do so.
Remember when we had that Dino Park ending? It seemed like a lot of teams were setting themselves up for that ending one more time, because we saw a lot of teams, they were gathering around Dino Park. No one really wanted to get in there too early, but they wanted to be able to be close to it so they could dash in when it was time. But it wasn't go time this game.
Break even got knocked throughout this game. You could see it just there at the hands of RRQ before, and then they managed to get him up, and he managed to be super, super clutch here throughout this game. Megastars, another, you know, position for them. They got themselves 3rd place. I bet they've got to be kicking themselves so hard from the spoiler towards the end there. That was brutal.
Got snaked hard. They were by far in a good position for this, especially because Yudu and Biggitson, they were pushing them with this. They were, look at this, he had 3 knocks on the ground. He could potentially have taken 1 up, then you could have some bit more rushes, but the pressure was just constantly on them, and especially for break here for the 3rd party from the angle there. That was just unfortunate, heartbreaking for Mega, honestly.
I mean, if you're Megastars, you're not expecting
do the do moments here, as you know, yoodogank has just dominated all of these entire games. As we take a look at some of the starting moments of this, a Hacienda circle towards the end is kind of unusual, but quite a common kind of middle-ish circle to start things off for us.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite central, the whole circle itself. And we had a good plane to start off, coming in from the northwest, going down to the southeast, meaning that everyone could basically go wherever they wanted. And we saw that a lot of the teams were spread out, but we had some early engagements, and that led to some of the teams losing a player super early into the game, still when we were parachuting, actually. And it's quite honestly, it's kind of rough to see because there's so much ground to play. You don't need to force these fights, especially when you don't have anything to work with. Most of the times you're going to see them without helmet, without a armor. They run around with maybe just a shotgun.
I love the standoff here between Megastars and Synergy. It was knocks on both sides and some saves and some clutches, some good nades. This one from Zeravi was really good. He managed to get a knock and finish off one of the guys, so they won that kind of fight. But I love these kind of standoffs where you decide, you know what, guys, the other team, the two of the players from Synergy, they continue into the circles to try to get a position. But here, there's points to fight for. There's pride to be fought for.
I mean, the whole thing was that Synergy kind of had the upper hand in that fight. They had all the knocks all the time. It was back and forth a little bit, but overall I felt like Synergy had control of the fight, but somehow they all lost it. Both of the teams just lost the fight, honestly.
I mean, when you kind of give up position and circle, like the advantage you get from being inside, and you have to fight from the outside in. And when you have teams waiting for you, they potentially have, you know, an edge position or edge compound. They're just going to hold you out. There's not much to do. So the weighted opinion between should we stay here, should we try to fight, or should we try to run away from this and try to get a better position is completely fine. So I think what they did was the complete right choice. But obviously it's rough to have a game like that, especially with the hard shift that went north up towards Yudu and up towards the Hacienda area here.
Also, we saw when that circle actually went towards north, towards Hacienda, Bigatron was one of the teams coming towards or from like the graveyard area straight into that compound south of Hacienda, took that straight away. That was towards the edge of the circle, towards the south edge. But at the same time, that means that they could hold people out. You have the T section just below that. So you got so much control from outside the circle.
And this push or hold, you could say, from Yudu to make sure that they put the pressure onto Bigatron while they were fighting Orange Rock, is actually really thought of as well. They decided that we have to put some pressure onto these two teams because it is Bigatron, it is Orange Rock. They had to put this pressure on them to make sure that they were weakened once they got into the fight with them here in the end.
And looking here towards the end fight, I mean, just look at the names we have here. This is such huge names towards the end game. It's kind of amazing, and it's a good ending. We have lots of high ground, low ground to play from, people utilizing them in different ways, and also still the utilities, all the smokes, the nades. It was kind of anyone's game here.
Let's
Mountain Dew the Do moments.
Yes, let's do it.
Some early fights here. We saw it straight away. Microboy, no fear at all. Look at him. He has no armor. He only got a helmet and he got an AK, but no HP, and he still just kept on going. He never stopped.
I loved how they really pushed for this. And also the fight here in Painan. RRQ Athena fighting TSM Entity. Big shots here from Ernie, taking those two guys down. And I would say with that, they actually won the initial battle for Painan.
I mean, I'm not sure who won that one because it was just a nightmare. Everyone was there. We saw Synergy and RQ Athena, of course, dropping there and fighting each other, but TSM came in pretty early on to actually take a fight there with them. And we saw that TSM was down to just Jonathan. Jonathan did a phenomenal job. He got, I think it was only one kill though. But to stay alive for that long, being alone, and manage to get that one extra point.
Yeah, but this is the power of Painan, right? And this is why a lot of people want that position, because actually in this game with the circle, how it worked out, it could have gone any other way. The one direction it went was the one that wasn't that great for Painan, but any other direction it would have gone would have been good for Painan.
And that's why you want to have Painan by yourself, right? Because the third-party potential in that town from both sides of the island is just super rough. So it's good to see that they're able to step up. Yes, the third party came in because there were two teams there, but RQ managed to have some more great kind of pushes and got a lot of kills in the blue as well, actually. Unfortunately for G9, he got taken down by No Chance Team.
I gotta say though, Team Secret, they were holding the compound on the west side island by the trifecta where the river meets.
Right.
And they were doing a good job holding that out, but towards the end, I feel like they should have pushed towards the bridge, just west of it, and take down Box Gaming. If they did that, they would probably have even better position to play the endgame from.
If you win that fight.
If you win that fight, which they should win.
All right, well, here's Team IND as well. Bigatron, they actually lost Microboy a little bit earlier than this, so they had a pretty decent spot to move in, but Valdus was able to dispatch of them nicely, thanks to having an advantageous position, I would say, Avenger.
Yeah, they took this position quite early on, and I'm going to break that down a little bit, actually, and the way they executed that that how they were able to hold that against some of these teams here. It was actually super interesting to see.
What I really like is that Valus tried to take control of the whole situation here towards the end. We saw that Team Secret was kind of prone, but Valus